If you've ever had the dream, thought, or ambition to start a small business, then you are in the right place. So, hi, I'm Daisha, and welcome back to my channel. On this channel, I talk about the small business that I started about a year and a half ago, and I just take you through the process as I learn things, as I grow, and things like that. So, if that interests you, then please come along. So, today I'm going to talk mostly to the people that are just starting their business or just have an idea, but there's other different little practices that you might enjoy or find useful as well, even if you already have a business. So I think the biggest thing I can tell to someone who's getting started is you do not need to know everything before you get started. Okay. You don't have to have your perfect logo, the perfect packaging, the perfect website and equipment, 30 plus products ready to go just to start selling. You need a solid product or service, and then you get the chance to improve upon your business as you find out what your customers actually want. And I think that's so important because you don't know your customers until you get started. So you can't spend 6 months preparing for customers that you haven't even gotten yet. And I've told this story before about how when I got started, I just knew everybody wanted my stickers, right? I spent all this time worried about my machine because my machine was not cutting the stickers out properly. And I was so worried about it. And I'm up at 4 a.m. crying and nothing's going right. And then come to find out, stickers weren't even my best seller. They're not even in the top 3 products in my shop that sell the best. So I spent all this time and energy and worry into something that's not even converting for me as well as other things. So I think that was a big moment, is just realizing that not everything that you think is going to be the best seller is. But if you don't get started, you're not going to figure that out. So I definitely wasted some time with that. So that's one thing that I would start with. Next, keep in mind revenue is not profit. So just because you made $1,000 in sales does not mean you made $1,000. You have all these different costs that you have to keep up with and think about when you think about how much money you made. So your material and product costs, packaging, shipping, any kind of fees that you're paying for the platform that you're using, plus any like subscriptions that you're using to get there. So like, for instance, if you're paying for Canva Pro, that needs to go into the price of your products. Any advertising that you're doing, any equipment that you're having to buy. And then also you have to pay yourself. That's something that I see a lot of people not doing, is making sure that you're being compensated for your time. I sell annotated books, and that's one of the biggest prices of the annotated books, is making sure that my time that it took me to actually copy the notes over matches the price of what I'm charging. So it's probably one of the biggest lessons that product-based businesses learn, is realizing all the things that have to factor into the cost. So for instance, in this clip, I'm cutting annotation kits. I have to think about, I had to use the cardstock, the ink, lamination sheet. It's taking me time to personally hand cut out these bookmarks, and then they each get hole punched and corner rounded. I add a tassel, the tabs, and then if they get a full kit, they get a pen, highlighter, sticker, and I put it in its own sleeve before putting it in its bubble mailer. So all of those little things have to have their price calculated in to be able to accurately understand how much money I'm spending, what I need to charge, and to go from there. But just keep that in mind, that just because you made the money does not mean all of it is your profit. Going back to the sticker example from earlier, when you're getting started, you don't know what's going to sell. So you don't want to buy too much inventory of something before you know what's going to happen. So for instance, I bought some lamination sheets once and I hated them. They did not work well. They made the bookmarks lumpy, and I ended up having to send it back. And if I bought like a whole bunch from like a whole supplier or something like that, it might have been harder for me to send it back. Keeping with the same stickers, when I got started, I was buying poly mailers, and I'm like, I don't actually like poly mailers. So then I bought bubble mailers for my annotation kits. But if you buy stickers from me, I just put them in a regular envelope. And when I first got started, I bought 50 of the small size. I'm happy I didn't buy too many because I found out the small size doesn't actually fit my bookmarks. So if somebody just buys one bookmark, I ship them in there as well. So when I bought more envelopes, I made sure to get a size that matched what I actually needed it for. So just remembering that sometimes, yes, initially it might be cheaper for you to buy in bulk and have it a whole lot. But then keep in mind, if you don't like it, now you're stuck with all that stuff. Or if it doesn't sell, now you're also stuck with it. In the beginning, it makes more sense to spend a little bit more money and get a smaller quantity to see what you're actually going to use versus saving money by buying in bulk and then realizing that you don't actually need that in the first place. I know my friends and family were sick of me when I first started my business. So I would take all these different samples to them and ask them to feel it, see what they thought about it, to weigh it, hold it in their hand, if they like the weight, if they like the feel of the cardstock or the lamination, what kinds of font they liked, what they didn't like about it. And I feel like one, I won't say that they hated me because I think they enjoy being along on the journey with me and getting the updates, but also their knowledge and their opinions were so valuable to me because as I collected things, I realized what really didn't matter to people and then also what the non-negotiables were. And I was able to compare that to what I thought about my products. And I feel like it helped me really create a premium product because I got so many opinions before we really got started. And I think that's important when you're, doing a product based business because you want your customers to be happy. So if you've had it in other people's hands before it got to them, they would have hopefully caught the error before the customer does. Another big thing is make sure you learn the platform you're selling on before you really get started because you might learn things that you're not allowed to do that were part of your idea. So, for instance, I didn't really understand IP infringement, so like copyright infringement before I really got started. And I've learned a lot because I've always thought, oh, well, these people sell this stuff. I don't know how they do it legally. And they're not. And Etsy, especially, is very big on taking down things or like taking your shop if you do things that violate their terms of service, like their IP. Like if you're selling on TikTok Shop, if you've been here, you know that I just got out of a month-long restriction period after being in trouble. That was mostly to do with TikTok Live, but it did affect my TikTok Shop and my selling abilities. So just making sure that you're aware of, what you can and can't do, understanding the fees and the policies, what they're going to like charge you, payout schedules, refund rules, things like that. So if something goes wrong, you're already kind of aware of it and it's not just like blindsiding you. Also, I don't know if this is lining up with the part of the video I'm watching, but I'm watching Big Brother in this clip and I don't know what they were doing. They must have been showing out. So, anyways, back to this. Another thing I had to remind myself is social media followers and customers are not the same thing. Did my social media help me get my initial sales and get my business off the ground? Absolutely. I tested my first few days of business really took off because of my social media. But if you think that's the only thing that's going to be your driving factor, your feelings are about to get hurt. Okay. You're still going to be making your videos, still promoting, but it's not the only thing that's going to drive traffic. So you actually have to learn the platform that you're on so that way you can also get organic traffic and you're not just relying on your social media. And probably the biggest advice I could give somebody that's getting started is don't give up. Okay. It's going to be hard. You're going to have early mornings, late nights, things not going right, machines not working correctly, customers that are upset. Things are going to happen to you. It's going to be okay. You cannot give up because if we always just give up when things get hard, you're never going to accomplish any of the dreams that you had. So just keep that in mind as you're on this journey, that it is a journey. Enjoy it. Give yourself grace to learn and live and live, laugh, love. But no, for real, give yourself that grace and just enjoy the process. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. I hope you enjoyed this. As always, let me know what you want to see next time. Make sure you like and subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye, guys.